Hello everyone, good evening again. Thank you for joining in. I welcome you all to today's session, which is all about the PMI-PMOCP, the new gold standard, PMO certification. I'm Shraddha and I'll be your host for today's webinar. So now when people hear PMO, that is Project Management Office, most of them think that it is about governance, reporting and dashboards. Well, fair enough, but in reality, PMO is not just that. PMO is where most of the business decisions gets made. So, and that shift in understanding is what we are going to talk about today or learn about it today. But before that, I have a quick question, and I'm assuming you all are project managers or somewhat in that field. So, have you ever felt like you are managing your projects well, everything is on track, uh, you are delivering everything, but when budgets and priorities are decided for the project or the scenarios, you are not part of that. If you could relate to that, can you just give me a thumbs up? Okay, that means you can relate to that. Okay, so we will discuss all that in this webinar. But before we start with it, for those who are new to Knowlathon, let me quickly give you introduction to Knowlathon. Uh, Monica ma'am, can you go on the next slide? Yeah. So we started in 2018, and since then we have worked with 40,000 plus learners globally. And our team brings 100 plus years of combined experience. And a large part of our learners actually come back for multiple programs. So this is not just one-time training program for us or our learners. It's a long-time upskilling. And that's what we also stand for with our tagline going learn, grow, and repeat. Ma'am, next slide. Yeah. And also, we are accredited partners with global bodies such as PMI, PeopleCert, PECB, CompTIA, Exin, Open Group, VMEDU, and others you can see on the screen. So, what this means for our learners is the certification you pursue is only as valuable as the credibility behind the training. And this global accreditations or partnerships proves that credibility. So now I have talked a lot about Knowlathon. Now let's come to our speaker for today. We have Monika Muddamshetty ma'am with us today. She's a transformation leader, PMI certified trainer, and agile strategist and a global speaker. She brings close to 2 decades of experience and has trained 200 plus professionals across PMO, agile, and leadership. So today she will walk us through what PMI PMOCP really is and why it is important and why what it means for your career as a project manager. So ma'am, I'm really glad to have you with us. I welcome you to this webinar. Over to you, ma'am. We can start with the session.
Thanks, Shraddha. Hello, everyone. Good evening to everybody from India, and hello, good day to everyone else. Thank you, Shraddha, for the very nice introduction. I would like to just add on a bit, saying that just because you know why you are hearing me talk about this, because I have
Hello.
faced.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Your camera is turned off.
I see it on. Is it not
Okay,
coming
let me
through?
check. Let me check once. Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
All right. So I was saying that, Shraddha has given a very brief introduction about myself, but for you to understand that I'm not just a trainer, I have been on the side of the PMO corporate side as well. I have held executive leadership roles like Director Agile PMO, heading transformation, PMOs, program management, project management. I've been on the corporate side as well. And I completely understand from a corporate professional perspective, what are the areas that we typically struggle with or face issues with. So when I'm talking about the session today, I'll be giving you that context as well. Yes, I am a trainer as well. I'm a PMI authorized trainer for, as you can see on the screen, for a couple of these things. So we include both the training side as well as the work experience side, right? So in this session, we'll talk about PMOCP and everything that is related to that. What you can expect, what are the benefits, how it compares to some of the other certifications, the course structure, all of that we'll cover in the upcoming slides. Now, what is PMOCP? As many of you may have already done some research on the certification, If you land on the PMI website, basically you will understand that PMOCP, Project Management Office Certified Professional, was a certification that was released out by PMI. Last February, it came out. It is basically designed to validate and elevate experienced project professionals into key roles within PMOs related to leadership and all of that. Basically, it's adding some credible influence in terms of what value you bring to the table so that there's incredible impact that people who are hiring you or people that are seeing you in that role can understand that you will bring to that role, to that table as a PMO professional, PMO certified professional. But when you think about it, when you try to understand in your organization's context, in general context, there's a lot behind what a PMO does. And in today's very, very dynamic business world, every organization wants a very, very strong PMO, a very highly mature PMO that delivers value, that delivers strategy, that is acting as a strategic partner, a true partner to the business in terms of what value they deliver, how they can navigate the changing market. But as most of us already know, it's so much more easier said than done. And one of the biggest traps that we fall into as PMO professionals is assuming that if a PMO model worked very well in some organization, it would work very well for us in our organization too. For example, we've seen, say, some PMO service being very highly valued, like what Shraddha mentioned, some strong governance, some detailed reporting, some centralized control. Most PMO leaders and professionals think that's what a good PMO looks like. Let's replicate it. But what we often miss or oversee is that there is some context behind that. What worked there in their organization worked there because of their strategy, their culture, their level of maturity, their context. So when we try to copy paste that into a different environment, which is in our organization, it doesn't always land the exact same way because PMOs are not a one size fits all. Think about it from this example, very easy to relate. Think about it that, okay, if you have gone into a doctor's office and you say, I've got a headache, my friend took this medicine and they got better, so please give me the same medicine. I will also feel better. Will that work? Now, if the underlying issue, as in why the headache is there, if that is same, then yes, the medicine may help you. But we all know there will be different things. Like, for example, a headache. A headache can come from so many different causes. It can be from as simple as just lack of sleep. It can be a migraine, or in some very rare, serious cases, it can be something as complicated as a tumor. But it's all a headache. Each cause needs a different treatment. So copy pasting what worked for someone based on some symptoms won't necessarily fix your problem. And PMOs are no different. So if we skip the understanding, if we skip the diagnosis, if we skip the context and jump directly into prescription, we will risk treating the wrong thing. And some services are like that, like painkillers. They will give us quick relief, some immediate support, but don't really solve the underlying issue and problem. And whereas some other services are like long-term treatment, slower, not very visible immediately, but they actually fix the problem. And I have seen both. I have seen an organization where a PMO was a real strategic partner. They were helping leadership prioritize initiatives. They were influencing decisions. They were clearly driving outcomes. And another organization, the PMO was there and they had implemented many of the similar practices, but ended up being seen as a governance heavy function doing just reporting. Same intent, similar practices, but completely different perception. In one place, the PMO was seen as enabling the business. In another, it was seen as slowing things down. And I'm sure many of you have seen or maybe even experienced something like this firsthand. So for PMO leaders, it's not just about adopting best practices or rolling out these services. It's about actually understanding what it is, interpreting them, adapting them to your unique context in your organization. So you need to ask yourself, as people who are in the PMO or people who are running the PMO, You need to constantly ask yourself, what does the organization truly need from the PMO? And what will actually add value here? How do we balance structure with flexibility? That is the key, because there is no universal playbook. And again, it's not enough to offer services that we think are useful. We need to step back and think and ask, okay, what outcomes are stakeholders really looking for? What problems can they really solve? And then shape the PMO around that. And it's very difficult because based on these outcomes, the PMO decides what services it should offer. And should it be at a strategic level, tactical level, operational level? It's not the other way around. You do not decide what services I will offer and then decide what outcomes they will drive. No. And again, those services that you offer may also differ. Again, PMO maturity also is very, very complicated. It's not as straightforward as I'm offering so many services, so my PMO is very highly mature. No. How effective are those services that you are delivering and whether they actually matter to the organization? Otherwise, organization, customers, internal customers, VPs, directors, CEOs, CTOs, they will not recognize the value of the PMO and whatever services they are doing, because if they are not meeting their pain points or not meeting their expectations, that is why we have to ensure, as PMO leaders, as PMO professionals, not just invest in running the PMO, but also invest and think about how to continuously shape the PMO so it stays relevant, so it stays valuable to the organization. And that is what a PMO is responsible for doing, not just the standard definition. And that is where the PMOCP certification is very, very useful, equipping you with the tools that you need to build trust, to foster collaboration, to drive strategic value. It will also equip you to ask the right questions, understand your organization's symptoms, what problems are being faced, what is more important, what is less important, and then design the services that align with real business outcomes, which need to be prioritized. It's not about just randomly throwing some solutions, some services at the problem and expecting everything will fix. No, it's about prescribing the right mix of some short term relief and some long term cure. Like our example earlier, like a medical toolkit. If we want our PMO to be truly valuable and add value to the organization, and we want people to see it as a value add, as a strategic engine, a true partner to the business and organization, we've got to play the doctor. We have to listen carefully, observe, understand, diagnose properly, and then use what PMO or PMI calls the PMO value ring to ensure our prescription of the PMO services actually heals the business and delivers the expected outcomes. So PMI-PMOCP is the new gold standard because it takes care of all of that. It's the gold standard for PMO professionals. It's grounded in global trends, real world insights. It certifies your expertise in leading and shaping project management offices, PMOs, about demonstrating your ability to drive strategic value. It shows that you completely understand what different organizations, what their unique needs are, what their unique challenges are, what the different culture is looking like, and then craft an optimal PMO structure that will be successful in that organization, given what they need. In short, that's what the PMOCP is certifying: your knowledge, your judgment, the adaptability and ability that you bring to deliver outcomes that matter for your organization as a PMO function. That is why PMOCP is called the new gold standard of PMO certification. Now, some of you might be thinking, then what else? Okay, that is why PMO is also seen as the real game changer. It empowers not only seasoned professionals and leaders, but also aspiring PMO professionals. It's designed in a way that PMO leaders, team members, project managers, project coordinators, PMO coordinators, all of these people who want to elevate their impact can see benefits out of this. And as you can see on the right side of your screen, this is what the certification covers. The participants who go for this training will learn how to collect stakeholder expectations, define and balance the PMO mix of functions, how do we establish PMO processes, defining the PMO headcount, competencies, and understanding all of that. assessing the PMO maturity and then planning how to evolve to keep up with the changing needs of the organization, calculating the ROI, return on investment for that has to be taken care of, and then of course the PMO balanced scorecard so that you can track impact as you progress. All of this is covered as part of the PMI-PMOCP certification, and that is why PMOCP, because it transforms you into a strategic PMO leader through validated experience, recognition, better organizational growth and leadership, providing some proven best practices that can help you to take your PMO to success, to drive impact wherever you go, irrespective of the organization. You have all the skills that you need to flourish as a PMO leader. That's what PMOCP is going to do. Now, if some of you are curious about, how is this different from some of the other certifications that are there in the market from PMI, this slide is going to kind of help you navigate through it, see the differences in, the focus, the level, and all of that. So let's quickly go through it in case any of you are curious about it. PMOCP, as we discussed in the previous slides, focuses on, of course, the PMO leadership, the PMO strategy at the enterprise level. Its goal is basically to build and lead high impact PMOs across the organization so that we can deliver value, enterprise wide value delivery. That's what PMOCP is for. Whereas PMP, which we call as Project Management Professional Certification, is the classic project management credential. Focus on project execution, ensuring successful delivery of individual projects. That's what PMP is for. Also very helpful, but for project managers. Then it is PGMP, which is the Program Management Professional Certification. So this is, of course, stepping up at the program management level. So it's operating at a multi-project or a program level, managing aligned projects, how we can realize program benefits together for the interrelated or interconnected projects and programs together at a program level. Again, very helpful, but from a program management perspective. And the next one is PFMP, which is the Portfolio Management Professional Certification from PMI. So it's at the top level, right, at portfolio management level. It works at the enterprise level, investment level, optimizing the entire portfolio of projects and programs. What should we invest on? How do we maximize return on investment? How do we ensure strategic alignment? How can we bring value to our portfolio? That's what PFMP is all about. So that's the difference, a very, very high level difference on between these four certifications, in case any of you are curious about how it is different. Now, there is also some salary trends and growth opportunities that you may want to consider. So this slide talks about that. Of course, there are PMO professionals globally, and typically, if you're certified, you do tend to get a higher pay package because your resume is going to be a different, having a different value to your resume with a PMO certification added to it. Not many PMO certified professionals are out there, but PMOs are there. So if you're able to fill the gap, certainly there's an opportunity that you can scale up, earn more, get better benefits, career growth opportunities, and all of that. And here's a comparison in terms of the project management professional and the PMO professional. There is a slight difference in terms of how much they can earn. Again, it may be a little context specific in terms of which organization, which geography, what their PMO professional, at which level it is, and all of that. But this is on a high level, showing you a little more insight in terms of the growth opportunities, how the career path will look like, and all of that. Now, we've spoken about PMOCP, we've spoken about why PMOCP, we've spoken about some of the salary trends that you can expect. So what can you expect from the examination? The examination will be very similar to some of the other PMI certifications. It's going to be, you can have it test at the test center. It's a 165-minute exam, which is about 2 hours, 45 minutes. It comprises of 120 questions, multiple choice, multiple answers as well sometimes, but nothing subjective. So it's going to be 120 questions. Of 120, 20 are unscored, like in most of the other PMI exams where you have a mix of scored and unscored. But 120 questions is what you'll be responding to in a span of 165 minutes. That's what is expected from an exam perspective. And from a prerequisite perspective, you need to have a secondary degree. And then you have to follow it up with either a PMP, or if you don't have a PMP certification already, 3 years of project related experience. Does not have to be a project leader, but project related experience. And then top it up with the 10-hour of PMO education. So we'll talk about PMO education, 10-hour PMO education. Knowlathon is offering that. And we'll talk about, Shraddha will share with us what and how and all of that. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is the list of the prerequisites that you need to go for the certification. And this is what you can see from an exam perspective, what you can expect. If there are any questions, we'll of course pause a little after a couple of minutes to get any questions. But this is what it is. And Knowlathon is offering a package for a complete package for the PMOCP certification. I'll pass it back to Shraddha. Shraddha, can you walk us through the section so that people know how they can leverage Knowlathon to get PMOCP certified?
Yes, definitely. So as Knowlathon is a PMI's premier ATP, we offer a complete package for PMI, PMOCP as well as other courses offered by PMI. So let me just explain what is in the package of PMI, PMOCP. So first, you will have 2-day instructor-led virtual training, which is conducted by the authorized and experienced trainer, which ensures you are not just learning theory, but also understanding how it works in real scenarios, and you can clear your doubts and everything in the virtual sessions. So along with that, you will get official PMI approved studied material. So you're preparing from the right sources and in the right way. So we also take care of the exam voucher and application support, so which is where many people usually get stuck, like you are getting the training but don't know about how to go with the exam voucher and application, how is it, might get confused in the forms and everything. So we help you with that everything end to end, so you are guided from start till the end. So in addition, you will also have access to Knowlathon's LMS, where you can practice with exam questions and revise at your own pace. So beyond this course or beyond this PMOCP, we also provide complementary learning access to areas like DevOps, AIOps, Scrum, and Six Sigma. So your learning doesn't stop with just one certification. So you are done with PMOCP, but along with that, if you need any other another technology certification, you can do with us. As I earlier mentioned that when learner joins Knowlathon as a one first time learner, the person comes again and again. So overall, the idea is simple. We just don't want to help you pass the exam, but we want to help you to build a real capability which you can actually use in your organization or in your day-to-day work. So that's it for this course package. If you have any doubts or any questions regarding PMOCP, anything, you can put it in the Q&A box. Ma'am will answer to that. And in the course structure also, if you have any doubts, you can ask. First, we'll take we have the next batch. I will explain about it later. First, let's take a Q&A. If anyone wants to talk it out, ask the question, just raise the hand. I will unmute you and then you can ask the question. Okay, we got one. Yes, yes, Vasant, you can ask the question. Vasant, you can unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can put it in the Q&A box. Okay, we are not getting any response. There is another person. I'm allowing a mic. Yeah. Ahmed, you can ask the question.
Yeah, so I'm after hearing a lot and good things over here. I'm a little confused. So I've got around 20 years of experience spread across different domains. Currently, in the past 5 years, I've been leading the PMO team as a PMO lead, right? And that PMO is not exactly what you see in the definitions or the PMI guidelines. It is more like, okay, managing the whole projects, managing the project managers, ensuring the staffing and all that stuff, right? Now my confusion is I was planning to go for PMP and now I'm confused whether I go for the PMO certification or I go for PMP?
Let me take that question. Anis, is that your first name?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
So Anis, if you are responsible for the PMO, if you're a PMO leader, my recommendation would be to go for the PMOCP certification. It also depends on your career aspirations, your career plans, and what you're trying to do. If you are interested in more of a project management perspective and expecting to kind of extend your career on that path, then a PMP certification will be very helpful.
Okay, so again, sometimes I get confused with all these emerging technologies, AI, all that stuff. So I don't want to get into a scenario wherein, okay, I did this PMO certification, and then when I want to switch, possibly I want to become a delivery leader for a complete, you can say, shared services or project management organization or anything else related to. Over there, usually the requirements in the job description always mentions PMP. Till date, at least, I mean, I've not done a lot of search because I'm not hopping right now, but till date, I've not seen any specific one that says, okay, PMO, PMI, PMO certification is required and not PMP. Majority, I would say the one that I've seen, they're all PMP requirements. How to deal with that?
And I think that, Anis, the reason is the PMOCP certification is only 1 year old. Like
Mm-hmm.
PMI has rolled this out only last year. So of course, there's going to be some time in terms of how job descriptions reflect it, but it depends, right? Yes, PMP is already established and has a lot of following already. Very clear. I think we're all no two ways about it. But
Mm-hmm.
it depends from your career aspect. So if you're looking at even from a, if you're looking at getting into something like heading a delivery excellence or those kind of aspects, also PMOCP will help because eventually, even for that, you'll be contemplating what services I have to offer, what
Mm-hmm.
outcomes my business is going to look for, how can I
Mm-hmm.
support them, what competencies in my skill set I have to. There's going to be overlap, but there's going to be overlap from PMOCP more.
Okay.
So, but certainly, of course, it does not have the branding of PMP, which is like already established. It's got
Mm-hmm.
millions of people already on that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. One last question, if I'm allowed to. Um, how how much did this PMO degree or certification cover from the PMP side of it? I mean, is there a overlap of the curriculum? It covers basics or it covers some advanced things, or how do you see that?
Very little overlap
Okay.
because certainly there are some topics which will be having a little overlap, things like stakeholder, things like
Mm-hmm.
communication, things like governance, but
Mm-hmm.
it is more at a strategic level. It's more at a PMO level, not at a project manager actively engaging with end to end of a project management plan and all those details. So certainly overlap is very less.
Thank you so much. I'm done.
All right, thanks, Anis.
Thank you, Anis. We have a next question from Vasant. After completing the PMOCP, can I see paradigm shift in my career?
Sorry, who raised that question?
Vasant.
So, Vasant, yes. See, the market, PMP is also very, very credible, has a global following and coveting around it. PMOCP is very new. It is, the traction has started, but it's still very new. Not many people are there. But the good thing is that because there are not many people who ever have the PMO certification, you will be having a lot more value add than others. Because everyone says that, yeah, as a project manager, you may know something, you have understanding, and PMP adds value to it. Similarly, someone who's done a PMO, done PMO related roles or been part of some PMO, if you want to get into a leadership level, if you want to get more jobs related to PMOs, setting it up, strategy, execution, certainly if you have in your resume a PMO certified professional credential added on, it will add value because not many people have that. If you look at demand and supply, you will be like a few of the earlier ones who are like when you look at PMP, like when it was very, very new, very few people had that. So it was like the lucky few to get the right jobs before more and more market opened up and more people started getting that. But again, it depends, right? So it depends on the role. It depends on, what is seen in that consideration. But if you're asking, does it open up avenues? Does it add value to your resume? Is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
I hope Vasant you got your answer. For your another question, have any testimonials from your trainees? Are you asking about the PMOCP or other certifications? So I can accordingly, because PMOCP I currently don't have testimonial from our trainees, but for other certifications I do have. Uh, um, okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if Vasant, you can tell me if if your question is answered correctly. Okay, PMOCP only. Okay. Currently, I don't have a testimonial on that as of now. Okay, next, Sharad is asking. I will unmute. Yes, I have allowed the mic. You can unmute and speak.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to ask the question. So my question is related to, so I'm PMP certified. So for the PMP, normally we used PMBOK 6, PMBOK 7, and now use PMBOK 8. So such a kind of books or references or syllabus, what we need to do, what should we need to prepare?
For PMOCP, Sharad?
Yes, for PMOCP, I must. For PMP, we have PMBOK 7, PMBOK 8, but for PMOCP, do we have any reference? And if yes, what kind of references do we have?
Yes. Hi, Sharad. Yes, there is the PMO practice guide that PMI has released last year. And that is like the PMBOK. The PMBOK talks about project management. It's a project management body of knowledge. Whereas the PMI-PMO practice guide is talking about everything related to the PMO. So yes, you can reference that as your study guide.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, let me check Q&A. Okay. Anyone else? We'll wait for 5 minutes more for your questions to come in. In Q&A, you can put or raise the hand. Okay. Yeah. We have one more question. Yes, people. Yes, I have allowed the mic. You can unmute and ask the question.
Yeah, okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
you are.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to know what is the delta over PMP when we go for PMOCP? Because in PMP also some basics of PMO functions, very basic, I understand that, are covered. But again, the project management as an overall concept remains same. That's what I presume. So how much delta? I'm not saying anything specifically like in terms of percentages, but if you can give some, at least if not quantitative, some qualitative judgment on the delta part over PMP when I go for a PMOCP.
So Bipin, maybe I can give a little more clarity on this because I'm also a PMP certified trainer. So see, the PMP is a lot more in terms of how you manage a project, how you plan, how you the budget, the scope, the resources, and all of that. While the topics are similar, the work that a PMO does is very, very different from a PMP, a PMP project manager. So PMP has got just maybe one or two sections about PMO. That's it. Does not touch upon much detail. Whereas a PMOCP talks about, there are. It says that it gives you understanding that what are the different types of services, what are the different types of outcomes, what are the different types of competencies that a PMO professionals need to work on. How do we develop them? How do we understand basis which outcomes business are looking for, which services we can offer? How do we do that? How do we get there? How do we design that PMO, and how we can kind of explore, understand what type of PMO is needed, then curate it's like a bouquet, how do you create which services to offer so that this customer or this internal customer or this function is happy or this organization is happy with the bouquet that you are offering in terms of your services as a PMO, and they are able to achieve the outcome. So it's a lot more different. If I have to say, like I was telling, I think, Anis, the overlap is very less. It's very less.
Yeah. So why this question came? Actually, I agree with you because PMO function is completely different. That it's a completely, not completely, but a lot of extension of the basic PMP, I would say. The question actually came up because in the prerequisites, I saw PMP certification was a prerequisite. So then I thought, what could be the extension part or the delta part? That's why the question came up actually.
Okay. Okay. Did we answer your question, Vipin? Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah. That's what I said, that I agree with you. Essentially, what you said is right.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, Vipin.
Yes. We have another question. Rohit is asking, for someone with X years of experience, how does PMI-PMOCP improve career growth compared to PMP or other certification?
See, it all depends, Rohit. It all depends on your career aspirations and your career path. If you are a project manager and you are expecting to get paid better, move higher in your career, get into senior project management roles, bring credibility, then PMP is better. But if you're looking at someone who is like maybe a PMO professional, maybe PMO coordinator, you're helping some of the PMO activities, and you are looking at growing into that line in terms of the structure, supporting projects, programs, portfolios, growing into that leadership level kind of a role, how to work with different business functions, how to deliver, how to align with them in terms of what outcomes they are expecting from you, how to design the PMO and all of that. If that is the area that you're looking for, then PMOCP is going to help you in your career growth. It depends on which career path you are taking. Now, also please bear in mind your years of experience. Like you said, X year of experience is very unclear. If it's very less, it will different. You will not really be a PMO leader very quickly. It's going to take some time, some experience, some maturity, some professionalism, some gaining of insights organizationally before you can get there. So all of that, yes, certainly will make a difference. But again, it depends on your career path, which area, which path you want to take in the long term.
I hope, Rohit, you got your answer. Okay. Yes, Bipin, I have allowed the mic.
Okay, so Monika, this is a bit of a diversion. You might say that what I'm going to ask you, not completely, but uh, in your opinion, coming from the core PMO function, etc., and you have had extensive experience as you have shown to us. In your personal opinion, how much of an project management experience would qualify somebody to aspire to become a PMO? Maybe few years, 5 years, 10 years, or something, or what kind of experience in the field of project management will make me think that, okay, now I am ready for becoming a PMO certified or PMO professional first of all, and then I might go for a certification.
See, it depends typically on the fact that, on the basis of understanding that when you're doing a PMP, you understand the project in and out. Project planning, project coordination, stakeholders, communication, all the budget, cost, scope, schedule. You understand every aspect of a project. You've looked at it from every angle when you've done a PMP. So when you are looking at going into a leadership role from a PMO perspective, that's why one of the prerequisites is a PMP, because when you understand everything of a PMP, of a project manager role and what is required in a project, you are going to be a little more skilled, and how do I say, a 360-degree understanding of bringing value to the table as a PMO leader. Because when you talk to people, you're going to be talking to people in terms of projects, you're talking to people in terms of governance, talking to people in terms of business outcomes. So if you have gone the PMP route, if you've done PMP and then PMOCP, you can relate to a lot more things than otherwise. So if you're, so how different it is and how it's going to help you and how it depends. If you do not do the PMP, it's not like you don't know. Honestly, even if you do a PMP certification, it's just to reconfirm that yes, you understand project management, you are a certified project manager. But there are many project managers out there who have not done a project management certification, but they are still very successful in running projects. So we are understanding that some people might be successful project managers. They may understand projects in and out, but they may not have done a certification. And maybe in their career aspiration perspective, they are more inclined towards something related to PMO. So we are saying both the paths are there. But certainly project understanding is going to help you. If you do not understand a project, how will you leave the project management office?
Okay. Vasant have another question maybe. You can unmute and ask the question or put it in the Q&A box. I'll read it out. Vasant, do you have any question? You have raised the hand. Okay, I will wait till he put the question. Anyone else who have any questions? I think most of them have a one question, that is the confusion about the experience and the PMP part, and that's got cleared, I think so. Okay, he's typing. Okay, till he type, we have another question. From a market perspective, for someone with 12 years experience, which role trajectory offers better returns, PMO leadership or strategic or product roles? In what kind of growth trajectory in percent terms do you foresee over the next 2 years? Shall I read again?
No. I can see the question. I think it's from Rohit Arora,
Yes.
right? So I'm just reading it as well. It's a very long question, so I have to read it to reconfirm my understanding of the question.
Yeah.
Um, yes, so Rohit, see, the point is you are comparing two different things. One is PMO leadership, the other one is product roles. Now, product role has got a complete different path, right? Because it's product management, product related skills. Yes, there may be some overlap with project management, but it's a different role. So I wouldn't I don't believe it's a right comparison. It's like comparing apples and oranges, to be honest, because PMO leadership may be something that more project managers or someone who understands project is focusing into. Product managers may not really be getting into that. So if you're trying to understand which path is more fruitful, it completely depends on your area of expertise, your experience, your interest, which path you want to go. Both are very, very different. Yes, product management is also a very good path, depending on what skill set, what experience, and all that you have. But PMO leadership is also a good path, depending on if you are able to look at the big picture, provide some support, engage with business, and understand with services outcomes how to navigate through that. Very situational. So yes, it depends. So if I have to tell you which one do you see is better, I cannot say that because it will completely, it's like context. It depends on your experience. It depends on your interest. It depends on your skills and your competencies. Also, your leadership aspects, right? Individually, that will also play a very key role in both of these paths.
Right. Okay, I hope Rohit you got your answer. You can give a thumbs up. Next question we have from Vasant. With more number of people coming with PMP, PMO certification will give edge over them.
Yes, certainly. Certainly it will. Because, of course, PMP is a very, 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 very good certification to have on your resume. It certainly is like a USP from many people who do not have it. Now, imagine PMP plus PMOCP. Of course, it's a value add. It's like one step is PMP and the next step is PMOCP. So you have something which many people don't have. So yes, it will certainly give an edge. But of course, now it depends on which context, which role you're applying to. So accordingly, that will also make a difference. But yes, if you're looking for the right roles, yes, it will certainly give an edge.
Okay, I hope Vasanthi got your answer. If there are any more questions, you can put it in the Q&A box. We'll move ahead. Ma'am, next slide. Yeah. So at Knowlathon, we have a batch of PMI-PMOCP on 9th and 10th May 2026. So this is for those who are interested in exploring this further and enrolling it. So for this batch, we are running a limited time webinar special for webinar attendees. One offer we are running. So if you enroll before 16th April 5 p.m., that is tomorrow 5 p.m., you will get a 5,000 rupee cashback. So to enroll with that, I'm sharing a form link where you can in the Q&A box. I'll put that here, and then you can maybe check it out or keep it with you and fill the form if you are interested. Obviously, we are not just going to enroll directly. We will talk to you. Our advisors will contact you, will understand your requirements, and then only we'll get you to the enrollment. But this is the very limited time offer. We have this upcoming batch. So this is the time you can take the next step you are expecting or you are thinking of. But before that, obviously, you should figure out if it is a right step for you or not. Don't rush into it. You can simply reach out to us, talk to our advisors. Our advisors will help you out with any queries, any questions you have regarding PMOCP. So I'm sharing our contact details also. Ma'am, you can share the next slide. Yeah, these are some links. Our Knowlathon website also we have course page. Then you can check more details on the PMI page. Other than that, our advisors are always there to help you out with all the details. I'm sharing the contact details in the Q&A box and the course page link again with you so that you can access it. Also on the screen, you have email, contact numbers, our website, our address, everything. So you can reach out to us in any ways. I've also shared our social profiles. You can message us there if you have any doubts, any time you can reach out to us regarding PMOCP or any other certification. Uh, if anyone have more questions, we can take that. We have some more time left. Anyone? Keep this contact details as well as the form link with you as you have joined the webinar. You should get the benefits of it. And here is a feedback form link. You can give the feedback for the session here. Scan it, and your feedback is valuable to us. Okay, I think no one has any questions. So thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful session. It was really great, and a lot of questions were answered. This topic was new to me also, so I also got so much insight from it. So thank you so much, and thank you all attendees for spending your evening with us. And have a great night, everyone, and hope to see you in next session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.